services are slowly being restored. Several buildings caught fire and helicopters were used to try to put them out. Emergency workers are trying to free many people trapped in vehicles or under buildings, but the rescues are reportedly stretched to their limit. And even under floodlights, after nightfall, rescue teams carried on picking through the rubble of collapsed buildings to try to find survivors. Christchurch residents were still rebuilding their lives and businesses after September's quake. This latest tremor has knocked the city back yet again. Azhar Sukri, Al Jazeera.
Temporary shelters have been set up in several locations outside the badly hit Christchurch city centre. Some of those made homeless by the quake have taken refuge at a marquee which was supposed to host a flower show next month. One News reporter, Matt McLean, was there.
They're estimating that around 2,000 people are here at the moment. These people are homeless. They can't get back inside their houses or their hotels or their accommodation in the central city. That's essentially because they've had to block off the entire central city of Christchurch. The roads have been blocked off. It's like a ghost town. You can't get through. They're keeping those roads closed for emergency services only, as well as because of all the destruction. And we've seen these pictures throughout this evening of the absolute devastation and destruction throughout the city. So many people have come here to Hagley Park as well as various other places around the city. Thankfully, the AlJazeera Flower Show is being set up right next door, so they're moving those people into the marquees that they'd been setting up for the AlJazeera Flower Show, although the line is moving slowly at the moment and the rain is not helping things either. These people are wet. They're homeless. They're also scared and frightened because of what's happened today. A lot of these people are foreigners. They're in town on holiday. They've been staying at hotels in the central city. They can't get back. They're unsure about when they can fly out. And they're not sure whereabouts they can stay until then. Obviously, they're offering these marquees as shelter, and I guess that will have to do. I do have to say though, a lot of people are in relatively good spirits considering the circumstances.
And that is all from us here in Kuala Lumpur. Now back to you, Shuli.
Thanks very much indeed, Divya. Let's just remind you of the latest developments in Libya. The Libyan ambassador to the United States has resigned, saying he no longer wants to serve a dictatorship regime. Turkey has sent 2 Sea Cat rescue ships to evacuate its citizens from Libya, and the Netherlands is also sending a plane to help evacuate its people. The United Nations human rights chief has raised the possibility of crimes against humanity in Libya, but Muammar Gaddafi's former aide has said that the country's leader will neither leave nor step down. Let me introduce my guest in the studio, Ibrahim Jibril, who is a Libyan political activist and is with us here in Qatar. Ibrahim, Gaddafi has insisted that he is still in charge. Equally, the protesters aren't backing down, and there are now very serious concerns about the humanitarian situation in Libya.
Yes, that's correct. The protesters or the Libyan people have a long time ago crossed the point of no return. So there is no returning back. The people in Libya have smelled the fresh smell of freedom, and they're not going to go breathe any other air after today. This is done. Gaddafi is a very egocentric sort of an individual. Not known for saying I'm wrong or I apologize or any of the sort. So it's not likely that he is going to go on TV and say, I understand you, or I am leaving now, I'm stepping down. He is going to do everything possible, and that's what he said through the lips of his son when he sent him over to say his few words, saying that we are going to fight to the last man, to the last woman, to the last bullet.
But there seems to be an ever-widening space appearing around Gaddafi. We've seen several high-level resignations, the latest one being the ambassador to the US.
That's correct.
Who is supporting him?
These circles that we see today abandoning the regime were never really the primary holding corners of the regime anyways. The regime is supported and propped up by security apparatus. Those are the real people, and the likes of Abdullah Sunusi, the brother-in-law of Gaddafi, the likes of these security brigades, as they are called in Libya. Those are the people, and not everybody within the brigade, but the leadership of those brigades. So much so that he recently actually appointed his own sons to lead those brigades to make sure there is no question of loyalty.
There are different security apparatus in Libya, isn't it? And we have to distinguish between the army bases, which we are told have been fired upon because army units are turning against Gaddafi as well.
Absolutely.
But he does have this elite of loyalist security force around him.
But I want to be clear that it's not that he has forces. He has individuals leading those forces, sometimes at gunpoint to do this and to do that. So I don't also want to make it sound like there is nobody in Libya who is supporting Gaddafi. There are very few people who are benefiting greatly from this regime and who basically connect their own survival and their own livelihood to that of Gaddafi himself. So they know that if he falls, they fall. Therefore, they're basically betting their lives on his stability. So that's the situation today. And we are seeing today that more and more people are lining up with the side of the street in Libya, the people in Libya, diplomats and otherwise. What I would like to say, though, to those names that we see increasing every day, particularly the diplomats, it is very nice and admirable, and we like the fact that you are resigning. But the people in Libya today on the streets who are being shot at are not benefiting at all from your resignation. This is a personal stand that they are taking, which is okay. But what they need to do is a great deal more than that. So that the people in Libya can actually get some benefit from those stands.
And we will talk a little later on in the programme about what can be done, what should be done. Ibrahim, thanks very much indeed for that. Well, let's take a look at what social media sites are saying with Nazneen Sadri, who's over at our web desk. Naz.
Thanks, Julie. Well, at the moment, lots of messages are coming on Twitter talking about the eastern border of Libya being opened up for media organizations to cross over. People seem quite anxious as to how things may pan out once there are more journalists in the country, and also how the regime may be preparing for that. Let's take a look at some recent posts. Ali Twill, who we think is tweeting from inside Libya, has just posted, "People in my area are afraid to go in a demonstration because we are 30 seconds away from a heavily armed military base. We are unarmed." Revolutionaries clashing with mercenaries and troops trying to clean up and hide evidence of battles. And Change in Libya writes, "Gaddafi said he'll let media in. Reports that Tripoli is being cleaned now in order to disguise what happened last night." Well, some tweets now suggest mercenaries are blocking entrances to Tripoli to stop protesters coming from other cities. And take a look at this video. Libyan Youth Movement says the protesters in Qairan, that's in West Libya, have caught foreign mercenaries. Some people there appear to be sifting through some of their items. We cannot, of course, verify that independently. And something perhaps a bit more light-hearted, this cartoon picture was just posted on TwitPic. It shows Libya's leader Muammar Gaddafi with a pile of skulls hidden under his clothes.